Do you think we'll come to a world where we don't need that many people working?
It's possible. I don't think it's actually, in fact, any near time.
But we see the trends like Silicon Valley working 4 days. People are Wednesday, they're like already preparing for the weekend.
Well, none of the
At least
companies.
from what I've seen, like in bars, etc., they're full Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Well, the bars may be full, but none of the companies that I'm working with are working less than 80-hour weeks.
Okay, but those are startups, or
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
but like bigger companies.
But I think bigger companies are also working their way back through the pandemic. It's part of the reason why they return to office and all the rest of this in terms of it. And I think that for example, Germany is an example of an industrialized society that went to a very rigorously maintained number of hours work week. And I think it's possible. But I think that because human beings tend to want to go do epic things, work really hard, sometimes make themselves wealthy, spend a whole bunch of time on a YouTube channel, et cetera, that I think that a large number of people will still be very engaged. So I don't think it's necessarily a quick general retirement.
So you're not thinking, because my thought was like, if AI continues to develop that fast, we're going to have universal basic income, and then some people are going to work and some people are going to just enjoy lives. Do you think that might be a reality?
I think people like competing for things. Look, it's possible. Like if you got to a point where you had enough, kind of the science fiction, Star Trek kind of future where you had enough, kind of robots that were producing everything, produced, all of our material needs.
Robots who
Yes.
put your kids to bed, do your laundry.
Yeah. And it's possible. But by the way, if you think about like how long it will take to build all those robots.
But like, I don't know, it's so fast. Like I've been in Silicon Valley for 10 years.
Yeah.
San Francisco full of self-driving cars.
Yeah.
And like 10 years ago, I couldn't imagine that.
Yes, although there's still a limited number of those cars that are Waymos. There's still many more Ubers and many more Lyfts. I'm just saying there's physical constraints in the creation of that world. That's one of the reasons why people are like, because I talk to the same Silicon Valley people you do, and it's like, we're going to have universal basic income in 5 years. Like, no chance.
Okay. So do you think in our lifetime?
Not impossible. Look, in one hand is like all the physical constraints of building everything that matters, cars and clothing and houses and, all the rest of the stuff. But then also it gets to, part of what, kind of the human impulse is like we compete. As you know, when a lot of people we work with and work alongside here, aren't just content to say, well, I've got a house that's in, downtown Burlingame, that's 2 bedrooms. I want the big house in Atherton. And so that kind of competing still happens, and so people will still have that as kind of an impulse and want that in various ways.
Yeah.
And you see it not just in economics, but also, of course, in sports teams and all the rest of this, and the attention economy and all of this. And so I tend to think that like there's also this human factor that isn't the I'm just going to be happy, kind of. Reading books, gardening, etc. And so I tend to think that the kind of we are all one nation of retirees or one species of retirees. I think that's almost certainly not the future. The question is, how does it blend between it? And obviously the people who are working hard want to have a differential reward for it. They want something that plays into it. That doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't UBI, but like you may even need to be what is called CBI, which is conditional basic income, because in order to still be engaged in society, it's like, well, no, you can have a UBI, but you have to spend at least 10 hours a week doing community service, doing something that helps the local seniors or helps the local schools or something like that. So you're engaged in society and you're invested in it.
It's really important for longevity.
Yes, exactly. So what the shape is, I think, is still very, very TBD and further out than most of the technology visionaries will have.
The AI version of you, which looks really realistic now that I see in real life, because Ben showed me all the videos. Should everyone think about creating an AI version of themselves? And have you thought about, like, have your opinion of your legacy changed once you've created the AI? Because it can live longer than you can live for years.
Although at the moment, my AI agents live shorter than me, because we're revising them so much. And so right now they're actually, it's shorter. But, I do think that everyone ultimately should consider it. I mean, especially if you you have kids and they have grandkids, and there may be something that's kind of
It's like generations can talk to each other now.
Exactly. So like that could be a very human enhancing case. Obviously, folks who are doing stuff in media, like you are, like I am, that's very useful in various ways. And we've had Reid AI give, keynotes at conferences and other kinds of things.
Yeah, I was just at that conference.
Exactly. And so I think that's another thing. Your front end is not the phone directly calling you, but you could imagine like the front end is your AI agent. I'm trying to remember, are we like oh yeah, I remember who you are. And it's like, oh, are we meeting for coffee tomorrow at 2 or 3? Oh, it's 3. And it's okay. And that could all happen with the agent. Or I really need to get to Reid right now. What's the issue? Let's talk about it. Oh, wait a minute, this does sound important. Let me see if I can get him on the phone.